everybody, and welcome to Bad Movie Brothers. I'm Eric.
I'm Chad.
And this time we watched 1201. Now, this I thought was a particularly weird episode of The Single Guy.
Yes, Mom, I'm dating. A lot of really nice girls. You know, I can't even keep track of their names. You want to know one of their names? Brillette. Brillette, yes. She's French. She's small, but she's wiry.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you. That's my time.
Yeah. Or was it a really weird episode of Entourage?
We drank, and then you left, and then I picked up the blonde.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I
pick
did.
up the blonde.
Yes,
she was
I
not
did.
even interested in
You
you.
left, she got interested, all right? You owe me $20 for your drinks.
It's a prequel. It's a prequel to Entourage. Absolutely. Because 1201 is a movie wherein Jonathan Silverman does the Groundhog Day thing, and the day repeats itself over and over again. He works in HR at some sort of science business. The other guy who works in HR is Jeremy Piven.
Yep.
And basically, Jonathan Silverman deals with trying to stop Helen Slater from getting murdered and stop what they call the time bounce from bouncing around, I guess.
Now, is this in one of these sorts of movies? Is this the first time we see the guy be not good at the repeating over and over again? Because we see it later on down the years, but this one seems to probably be the first time that he's not good at it.
Well, I feel like at the beginning of any of those movies, like the first couple of days, they're like, what's going on? But Jonathan Silverman, I had the same thought. He seems particularly bad at it. I wrote down in my notes C- time traveler.
Yeah, real bad.
Because there's a great part early on where he's trying to prove that he's been through this day before by predicting things, and he can't do it, and he says, I haven't been paying attention.
I haven't been paying attention.
All right, I'll make it easier. What do I do next?
Your beeper goes off, and then you get up and you leave.
He kept predicting everything like right after it happened.
Right. So it looked like he was just being a jerk.
Yeah. Her pager starts ringing and goes, oh, and your pager's going to go off.
Right. And she's like, what are you talking about?
Okay.
But that I think though is at the root of the charm of this movie, is that I don't think this movie works for me at all without Jonathan Silverman. Like, Jonathan Silverman being Jonathan Silverman is the thing that this movie has going for it, where he's kind of bumbling and kind of charming, but not really too much.
Kind of bumbling?
Either.
He throws a hat into a fish tank. He constantly knocks stuff over. How is he not just bumbling?
Fair enough.
Why is the lid even open to the fish tank? Why is he throwing a hat? Where's he going to throw it to?
Right. Why is it? There's a hat rack right there. I had a big problem. That scene struck me because it was much more bumbling than he is throughout the movie.
Right.
But then this was a thing that kept occurring to me throughout the first 15, 20 minutes of this movie, where something really strange would sort of happen, and then realizing, oh, this is only there so that later he can be like, but the fish tank is fine. What's going on?
Right. Exactly.
And certainly the script doesn't sell those moments so great.
So going into this,
yeah,
again, I knew nothing about it.
Right.
I did not know it was going to be a Groundhog Day film.
Mm-hmm.
And these things keep happening. And the second I realized it's a Groundhog Day film, I said, oh, no, I don't want to watch that again. I don't want to see the floppy disk electric charge. I don't want to see the chair fall apart again. I didn't want to see all the gags.
Because key to the repeating day and the movies, whatever, is that Jeremy Piven is a prankster. An office prankster with the most unlikely pranks.
A liar and a prankster.
True. Because as you mentioned, he somehow has an electrified floppy disk.
Here's the update on a new filing system. It's a shocking computer disk.
With the worst sound effect in movie history.
Sure. And then his signature move is when Jonathan Silverman is away from his desk, he uses a wrench to remove all of the nuts and bolts from Jonathan Silverman's chair, but still
somehow
managed to hold vaguely together. That I'll tell you what though, as implausible as, because that would take a while.
Yes.
As implausible as that prank is, I did very much enjoy on the first repeat that he sits back down in the chair having forgotten.
Yep.
Sorry, man.
That it gets disassembled. And they certainly get a lot of mileage out of the disassembled chair gag.
Now, also, in these other Groundhog Day films.
Yes. So wait, we've got Groundhog Day.
Yep.
Happy Death Day.
Yep.
Happy Death Day to you.
Mm-hmm.
Palm Springs.
Yep.
That seems like it's more or less the canon. I think there's probably more.
No.
What am I missing?
The Tom Cruise one.
Sure. Edge of Tomorrow.
50 First Dates.
50 First Dates is not a Groundhog Day.
To her it is.
No, but the day doesn't repeat. She's a memento.
Okay. Well, we've said enough.
Sure.
Anyway, in these other ones,
mm-hmm.
The day doesn't start with a newscast telling the person exactly what's going on. This one does.
As far as the time loop, you mean?
Right, and how to fix it.
Does it say how to fix it?
Yeah.
I missed that. It says how to fix it. But it is a whole expose on the time loop.
Yeah, it's like you got to refire it or keep it from firing to avoid the time bounce.
Sure. I was going to contradict you and say that the Every Day in Groundhog Day starts with the radio guy coming on and saying that it's Groundhog Day and stuff. But
he doesn't say, "Hey, you're in a time loop, buddy."
No, and certainly part of the charm of Groundhog Day is that it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like he's in the loop, and I don't think there's ever a serious attempt to figure out how it started or how to get out of it.
Right.
This movie very much concerns itself with the mechanics of the loop.
Oh yeah.
And much of the plot deals with the accelerator and shenanigans going on around the accelerator. And every time this movie becomes about the accelerator, it is boring as hell.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Thaddeus and his accelerator.
So upset. Thaddeus, the time doctor, is played by the great Martin Landau, who gets nothing to do in this movie.
Nothing.
Which is very disappointing.
Yes.
But the science stuff, which is the big problem with this movie, is the tone of this movie is all over the place. Because it's, a fun Jonathan Silverman romantic comedy movie, and then it's a thinky science sci-fi movie, and then it's also a murder mystery wherein his driving force, while it becomes getting the loop to stop, is also preventing Helen Slater from getting murdered, about which he often doesn't seem super concerned.
Right.
Like he alternates between being very concerned and pretty blasé about it. And as you've mentioned before, very bad at presenting it.
Yeah, and you know what else is since it's got the love movie part of it,
mm-hmm.
as most of these do.
Sure.
In these other ones, the more recent ones,
yeah.
At some point the hero of the film is at certain points at least somewhat charming to get the girl to fall for him.
Mm-hmm.
In this instance, he's really not ever very charming.
Or at least not charming to her.
At the towards the end, when he's proving that he knows who she is,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We've seen him throughout the earlier part of the movie. He'll ask her to ask him questions
mm-hmm.
that only she would know the answers to, and it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, he just lists off the answers without the questions provoking them, and it's really creepy.
37.1. Oysters. Green. The Carpenters. Fly to heaven.
Well, and that's another. So this movie is unlike, I think, any other Groundhog Day movie. This movie is very workplace centric.
Yes.
And it's ironic that Jonathan Silverman seems to work in HR.
Personnel.
Because this movie is basically sexual harassment, the movie.
Right.
Between the creepy ways he approaches Helen Slater, both before and after the time loop.
Right.
To the way he's treated by his immediate supervisor.
Yep.
To the way he and Jeremy Piven talk about his immediate supervisor. There is a lot of workplace harassment in this movie.
I would hate to kick you out. You're one of the cute ones.
You know, she had sex once in 1983, but she didn't like it.
You came back in the middle of a restricted area to flirt with me?
I like you, Barry. I really do. You're fired.
So why kick me out when I'm so damn cute? Oh, and don't get your panties in a bunch.
Man, shake it, baby, shake it.
You really like me a lot. You just can't remember it. Oh, we are like this.
And I mean, I suppose part of that is this movie's, 30 years old almost.
Sign of the
now.
time.
25.
Time.
So yeah, at the time, I guess you were supposed to be like, no.
Right.
But watching it now, it is troubling.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Jonathan Silverman, he is ready to say "I love you" to Helen Slater right away.
Yeah.
In a way that, both from her perspective and our perspective, it's pretty.
Yes. No, it would have made sense if it was like the Palm Springs thing where we find out he's done it hundreds of times.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, we see like each attempt.
Right. Like that's the other thing too, is he goes through the day, and I wish I'd kept count of it, but it's less than a dozen times.
Right.
Whereas like part of the charm of Groundhog Day and how that movie makes you forget about how creepy it would have to be from Andy McDowell's perspective is they at least build from his perspective the relationship
right
with Andy McDowell. And so you see it and you get it. But yeah, here he just goes through like a couple of times. Like I think he's maybe on day 3 or 4 with him when he has a naked romance time with Helen Slater and then immediately tells her he loves her.
Right. Yeah.
Also,
too much.
Right. And this movie also denied me one of the great joys of these sorts of movies, which is the montage of him doing like a bunch of weird and stupid stuff.
Right.
There's
a little bit of that. He does like get killed in a car crash or whatever. There's a little bit.
A little bit, but there's also not he doesn't like take a day off. He doesn't go, I'm going to learn he doesn't like get so frustrated with it that at some point he's just like, I'm learning the piano. I'm reading books today.
Right.
Or just trying it. Like there's also not the scene where when Helen Slater is about to get gunned down outside of the office, there's not a scene where he like shows up with like a tank or like a bunch of weaponry just for the grins of it, the lulls.
Now, explain this to me.
Sure, happy to.
So, when we first see the lady get killed, she at that point doesn't know any of the information that she finds out later in the movie about what's going on. So why do they kill her?
That whole part of it, the accelerator mystery, never makes a great deal of sense to me because what seems to be going on as we learn by the end of the movie. Like, because during most of the movie, there's a bunch of back and forth about the accelerator isn't working right, but somebody fires it anyway. And for most of the movie, Jonathan Silverman thinks it's just this dude, this, science sidekick guy.
Right.
But what we come to find out is that it's Martin Landau doing it.
Yeah, it wasn't Darren, it was Thaddeus.
Right. Martin Landau. And for some reason they need to kill Helen Slater, even though she, as you're correct, until Jonathan Silverman gets involved, she doesn't know about it.
Right.
I guess. And then Derek, what's his name? Darren is working with the FBI to bring Martin Landau down, I guess. But the FBI is never really a presence in the movie until the very, very end, when they show up almost Clue style.
Right.
At the end there. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot. And then the other thing that I don't understand is I don't understand why Martin Landau needs to turn on the accelerator.
I don't know.
Because like I think there's some throwaway line about that he needs, like, if he needs money or whatever, he needs it to be a success.
Yep.
But they never fully explain why, if it isn't working, why he doesn't just leave it be. Or also, what the hell is the thing supposed to do?
I don't know.
Because it's not supposed to create a time bounce.
No, that's the bad thing that happens.
That's the bad thing that happens, that they're also fully aware might happen, which I think should be very concerning.
Right.
But to which nobody truly cares about.
Now, as you mentioned, this is focusing on a lot of workplace material.
Yeah.
And you visited a lab in our youth that might have such a piece of equipment.
Yes.
Within it.
I can't believe you remember this, but yes.
Now, at this lab, to your recollection,
Fermi lab.
Right. To your recollection, does it also, this lab also have like floors of office workers doing pointless office work within it? And if so, does a very low-level personnel employee have access to dilly-dally around throughout all the labs as he so chooses?
I mean, I will give them the credit that they do go to some trouble to show him having to really finagle his way in to the high security areas. It's too easy, but he does have to try. But to answer your question, so I went on a high school field trip to Fermi Lab, where they have some sort of collider.
Right.
And to my memory of it, does it have? Yeah, it did actually have kind of. It was like a lot of Fermi Lab was kind of just like office space.
Okay.
In a weird way, because I remember like going to the cafeteria, and I remember like going past areas that were just kind of like, because there does have to be a certain amount of administration.
Sure.
For a place like this, but it's super weird to have him work at the place where it's happening, but also not be a scientist,
right,
or involved in like the science of it or anything. It's a very weird choice.
Yeah, from what we know, he's quite a bad employee.
Oh yes, he's a very bad employee.
He's late.
Yes.
He just deletes people from the system willy-nilly.
He leaves a lot of things on his desk.
That's all we know,
as we're told many times.
Yeah. Dirty desk.
He spends a lot of time just chewing the fat with Jeremy Piven. Decent cast in this movie. I did like Jonathan Silverman in it. Jeremy Piven is a problematic character.
Now, every time he was there, I just thought, I think they wanted Robert Downey Jr. for this, and they got Jeremy Piven.
Sure, he's sort of a
goofball.
He's sort of a junior Robert Downey Jr., much as Jonathan Silverman is sort of a low-level like Andrew McCarthy. Sure, I'll give you that. Helen Slater, of course, Bad Movie Brothers alum from Happy Together.
Yeah, it took me a while to remember the name of that movie. I was like, what was the name of that?
And very small part. Blink and you'll miss him. Danny Trejo.
Yeah, no, you didn't miss him. He was right there. He had a couple scenes.
I like the parts where Jonathan Silverman seems like he's the murderer.
Right.
Because he there's a lot of crazy scrawling on notepads. and a lot of stalker behavior.
Yeah.
There's, I guess, not really a ton to say.
I was
about
disappointed.
This movie.
I was disappointed in his reaction to Jeremy Piven getting killed.
Sure, yeah. So Helen Slater dies, I think, 3 times.
Yep.
On screen. The Pivs dies 1 time, which was kind of shocking.
Yeah, it was terrifying. That one was the worst one.
Sorry, Bear. It's you tell them that I don't have anything to do with this, with anything. Okay, any information I would give would be useless. Okay, I don't know anything.
And like so much so that it's only all the more odd that like that sort of thing doesn't happen more. Like, I don't know if it's a budget thing or what, but like that they don't delve into the alternate possibilities too much.
Now, I can't remember, but is when he's killed, is that the ultimate or penultimate conclusion to the movie?
I believe it's the
is he actually dead or is he not dead?
He is not dead. He is not dead. I believe that's the one that ends with Martin Landau at Jonathan Silverman's house killing everyone.
Right. Yes.
I believe. Now I've just been glancing at my notes, and I can't believe we haven't talked about the greatest character in this movie.
The guy that spills coffee on himself.
How's it going?
Hey, it's been a bad morning.
Oh! Do you believe there was nothing in the paper about Lisa Fredericks?
Why? She won an award or something?
Oh, Jack! I'm sorry.
Careful, guys.
Jack! Oh, Jack!
The alarm clock.
Oh yes, I want that alarm clock very much.
It's
so
pretty great. It's like Ed 209 from RoboCop, but an alarm clock that calls Jonathan Silverman lazy.
The time is 7:35. Please wake up. Wake up, wake up. Lazy boy, please wake up, please wake up. Lazy boy. Lazy boy, lazy boy.
Lazy boy, over and over again.
Loved it.
Go ahead.
Where did it come from?
I don't know.
Because like I typically know a little bit more about these movies than you do because I have to find them.
Yep.
So when the robot shows up, I'm like, okay, so Jonathan Silverman's a crackpot scientist. This is a Doc Brown contraption. I fully bought he built this alarm clock.
Yeah, he's a nerd.
But he didn't.
No.
Because he's not a science guy at all.
Nope.
So where'd this semi-sentient robot alarm clock come from?
That's an FAO Schwartz throwback. I want to plug it in right next to my RoboFan and just get going.
Do you still have your RoboFan?
Somewhere.
Nice. I saw one at an antique show, a while ago now, but was like,
there it is.
That's right. There's that guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or we had that one that was like a little vacuum. Obviously not a Roomba, but
right.
Like he was a very teeny little vacuum guy.
Yeah, you couldn't use that these days.
No. But when there were pointless robot home appliances.
Right next to the, what was it, Furby?
Sure.
Same thing.
There you go. Loved the alarm clock.
I do have one ultimate question.
Okay, here we go.
End of the movie.
Yeah.
We accelerate Martin Landau.
Blows up.
Yep. He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as you said, the FBI show up like, hey, here we are.
Sorry.
And so, like, what happens? Like, do they go to jail?
Yeah,
or like,
yeah. So they get full on arrested.
Right.
The FBI does not have time to believe whatever's going on.
Yeah.
They are in handcuffs, making out. Again, Helen Slater has only known Jonathan Silverman from her perspective for a day.
Less than.
Yeah. They are full on making out. And then it's just over.
Right.
Yeah. I guess it ends with that they go to jail.
Yeah.
At least temporarily. But also, how's Jonathan Silverman ever going to? He certainly can't prove the time bounce.
Nope.
I mean, I guess I don't recall if in this version of events they have gotten Darren involved, but probably.
Yep. Probably.
So I guess he's gonna vouch for him. But it is super weird that it ends with them in handcuffs.
Right. And it'd be fine if they had him in handcuffs and they were like explaining everything. But when they tried to explain, the cops like, no.
No, and then they're just like, all right, I guess we're gonna suck face.
Sorry, we just saw you accelerate this man to death.
Boom.
And as far as they're concerned, all the records show Darren being a bad guy, and then
That's fair. Yeah, because Mark Landau fudged the records.
Yeah, they killed him. They saw that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess they could be in jail forever.
Right.
I mean, certainly something to explore in 1202.
Oh, they wouldn't do 1202. They'd do,
101.
Yeah, midnight or something. They'd have to go even earlier.
Sure. Would it surprise you to know
that there's other movies called 1201?
There are a couple, but no.
Okay.
Would it surprise you to know that this movie came out the same year as Groundhog Day?
It would not surprise me. It would surprise me if it came out like the same month.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Here's what I can tell you. 1201 TV movie.
Oh.
Aired on Fox.
That's a good TV movie.
Yeah, it's a pretty good TV movie. Especially for the time.
Right.
Yeah. Same year as Groundhog Day. Did not know about Groundhog Day. This movie is based on a short film called 1201 PM that had come out some years earlier, and based on my very limited research, seems to have largely created this idea. I don't think it created the idea of a time loop, but of doing this sort of a story.
Got it.
And when the producers got wind of Groundhog Day, they tried to sue Groundhog Day for ripping them off.
Oh, Russian Doll's another one.
Thanks. Good job.
Yeah,
You've been working on this all episode?
No, just when you said that they came out the same time, I don't know, that just sparked in my
There
head.
you go. There you go. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. I did go ahead and watch the 1201 short film, which stars Kurtwood Smith as the dude what gets stuck in the loop. His loop, however, is only an hour.
Oh.
Which was a little interesting.
Any news on the fallout of the suing?
It doesn't seem like anything really happened.
Probably not.
Like there was maybe some sort of a settlement. It didn't really, obviously Groundhog Day came out and is the one people think of. Right.
Yeah.
I suppose there's an alternate time loop where when Happy Death Day comes out, they're like, oh, this is like a 1201.
No.
But probably not.
Never.
Probably not. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you that in that particular year, I would have been happy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bad Movie Brothers. I'm Eric.
What did you just do there?
We just started making the show.
What show?
Bad Movie Brothers. We're going to talk about this 1201 movie.
Oh, we're doing a loop thing?
Yeah.
I hope everybody watching hated that as much as I did.
So in this particular year that these movies came out.
Did you plan that?
No.
Were you like, oh, I'm going to do that at the end?
No, I did not.
I don't trust you.
I know. That's fine.
I'm done. I'm over it now. You ruined it. I hope your little joke was worth it.
Yeah, it really was. This is the best outcome I could have hoped for. Absolutely.
Good.
Good.
Now you're going to jail.
Chad, what did you think of 1201?
What I would have said, had you not done your little shenanigans, is that in that year, had I stumbled across this on TV for a movie, I'd have been perfectly happy.
This is a very not just in prime time, but also like this is a solid Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
sitting around the house, working at the store kind of a movie. This is perfectly fine.
Man, speaking of Groundhog Day type situation, working at the store was a time loop in itself. Same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think you've just described work.
Particularly there, the same people, the same
Congratulations.
thing over
Yeah,
and over again.
Sure. But yeah, this is not a bad movie. It's also not a great movie. It does, like I say, I think it rests a lot on the shoulders of Jonathan Silverman, who is a solid performer.
Especially at the time.
Sure. I liked Single Guy.
Yeah.
Isn't he in Weekend at Bernie's?
That's him.
Yeah. Weekend at Bernie's too.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's
okay.
Yeah. Where would you rank 1201?
Do we have any other number-based movies?
No, K9000 is I think as close as it comes.
No, it's better than that.
Yeah, like this is for me a hard one to rank because I think what I would have to say about it is that it's inoffensive more than like genuinely involving or entertaining. It has its moments. There are some fun lines and things in it. But like for me, I'm in sort of the around number 10 sort of area.
Yeah, I was thinking before you even said that, I was thinking like 15, not even fully understanding what movies are at the 15 mark.
Sure. Well, like so at number 14, I think 14 and 15 are Joysticks and Witchboard 2.
Uh-huh.
I think I would give this the edge over either of those.
Okay.
I think I would going up the list. I think I would give it the edge over Rock and Roll High School Forever.
I don't know. That's a tough character to beat.
Sure, but she is such a small part of it.
Well, but it makes it.
Yeah, but you also have the robot alarm clock.
Oh, give me a break.
You put that on her desk, though. Look the hell out.
Sure.
And I think I would edge it above Spooky House.
Spooky House. That damn leopard, though.
Then we get into Primo Baby and Dolly Dearest.
Oh.
Now, Dolly Dearest, I think for sure is better than 1201.
Okay. You're not sure about Primo Baby.
Primo Baby is, to me, a similar sort of movie in that it is sort of an inoffensive, afternoony sort of an affair.
Okay.
I would probably say it's a little bit better than Primo Baby, but I would be willing to defer.
Let's put it where you believe it should be.
Okay. That is going to put it squarely at number 10.
Should put it at 12.
Yeah, but that's not going to last forever.
No. It may get there eventually.
Sure. It almost certainly will.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, the top 12 is frozen.
Yeah, we're done.
And that's 1201. Yeah.
I mean, it certainly isn't one that I would say don't ever see that. If you stumble across it, watch it.
Sure. I mean, well, obviously it is on YouTube.
Uh-huh. Why'd you say obviously?
Because all these movies are on YouTube.
Well, the people don't know that.
Well, movies on YouTube.
There you go.
If you need to fill out some spreadsheets at work.
Oh, this is a spreadsheet movie for you?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Why the hell not? 1201. Right. Start it at 1201. Have yourself a great time.
Yes.
That's going to do it for this episode of Bad Movie Brothers. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.